without undermining our Constitution and our freedom.
What has surprised me, and I wonder what you think, is that in light of all of this, he has not come out and said, you know what? I did criticize President Bush over all of those programs, and once I became president, my views changed because I started to look at the threat assessment and I was not willing to accept risk beyond a certain level.
Well, I think you complicate the entire discussion by saying it's President Obama's position or Senator McCain's position. You just look at the issue. I think it's a lot easier to discuss. There are really two questions. One, whether you can collect all this data, and that's an open question. Whether all telephone records are relevant to an ongoing investigation, that's an open question, I think. But even more important is, once you get the data, what can you do with it? And that's this thing is not limited to terrorism. If it were limited to terrorism, I think the discussion would go away. It's not limited to terrorism. Once the FBI gets the information, then the question is, who can look at it? What can you do with information? I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can get if you just run through phone calls. I mean, somebody's called an escort service, an AIDS doctor, the bankruptcy attorney. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that would be interesting to know about somebody. We just had a Supreme Court case that said that if you're accused of sexual assault, they can get your DNA. Once they've gotten it and determined it wasn't you, so they have no information on you, they've got the DNA, they can run it through the database just to see if you've committed a crime. Now, they couldn't do that. They couldn't get the DNA from you just to run it through. But once they've got it, they can use it. Now, the FBI has all this data. What can they use it for? Who can look into it? And who gets to see all these reports about the phone calls?
But Jim Risen, as has been pointed out, there are a lot of concerns about what the government could do.